Hello everyone, today I answer to this question, how to manage contracts in Airtable. So to manage contracts in Airtable, you build a relational base to track each contract, add views and renewal alerts. Then you can generate and sign the contract PDF from the record. Airtable handles the data, but the signed document needs one more tool like Typeflow. Before we start, here is what you need. You need an Airtable base to hold your data and a few live contracts to track. So as you can see here, I have already all those contracts. And you need Typeflow connected to your Airtable base for the final steps. But before, start with a contract table. So in my case, it's here with MMA list. And give its status field different options. So in my case, if we navigate to the table, the different status are here: draft, email sent, signed, renewed, and etc. and etc. Then link the table to the parties, so the different signer or the vendor with another table. So in my case, we have vendors, but we also have a table named signers. This keeps your data clean and connected instead of stuffed into one big table. I also added fields for start date for the contract, so effective date, but also expiry date, the contract value and other information. So each record tells the full story on its own. Now I also added a Kanban view grouped by status. So you can drag a contract from draft to email sent or sign or renew or whatever you want to make sure that you have a whole view of your pipeline. The Kanban board shows each stage in one look, so your team knows where a contract stands without asking. Next, set up a renewal alert with native Airtable automation. Have them fire 30, 60 or 90 days before a contract expires, so each one sent to the contract owner. So a renewal that never catches your team by surprise. 3 alerts give you enough time to renegotiate or walk away before the end date arrives. So in my case, as you can see, I use the day until expiry field to 30, and 30 days before the contract ends, I send an email automatically to the owner of the contract. But now let's talk about the document to generate. So here is the step Airtable can't do on its own. So this is where I bring Typeflow. Typeflow generates the contract PDF from the Airtable record in under 2 seconds, and then it collects an e-signature, then sync the signed PDF back to the record. Templates live in Google Doc or HTML, CSS template builder, and e-signature is unlimited on paid plan with no per envelope fee. Generation runs on one click or through a Typeflow automation, Airtable automation, it depends on your need. And then the signed contract lands back in your base with a full audit trail. So let me show you how it works. So let's say that I want to generate a document with this record. So the contract has been generated, as you can see. It's a big contract with 19 pages. Here we have the block for signers. Now I can sign the contract. I need to validate my identity by entering the code that I received in my inbox. the signing process starts. This is my signature, and I'm going to use the today's date. Perfect. Again, I consent to sign electronically. I add my signature. Perfect. Date, today's date again, and signature. Perfect. Now I finalize the signature process. Perfect. And now automatically the document will be attached to the field signed copy. We have the document here, and on draft we have the certificate of completion. So the certificate of completion can be saved directly after the document signed, or it can be separated to the contract like I did here. Also, if we check the contract pipeline, we can find in grid view, initially it was with the status draft, and now automatically it has been updated to the status signed. And then this update can trigger another automation. So that's it. That's the full loop. You track contracts in Airtable, then generate and sign them from the record. You can try this yourself at typeflow.com.